the majority of nerve damage is actually caused by something called leprosy reaction. And we, as in the Leprosy Mission, with our other partners around the world, we have got a greater understanding of what leprosy reaction is. And particularly, we've been involved in the 10 LEP studies, and they have really shown us how early nerve damage starts and what the risk factors are. So we're beginning to preempt and recognize risk factors much earlier, so we can actually prevent some of the damage happening, or we can actually treat it a lot earlier. But at the moment, some of the research that we're involved in, and as Leprosy Mission, we've talked about this a lot, still in relation to reaction, is where we're involved in the big Enlist study, which I know we've talked about a lot, but we're continuing to understand reaction, which will help us to actually prevent the disability. In terms of wounds, which is a very big part of the disability work that we do in the Leprosy Mission, I think we're looking at it from two main sides. One is the self-care side. So we have a big research project going on at the moment in partnership with the University of Birmingham and with the German Leprosy Relief Association, where we're looking at self-care and how to help make that more effective, and have, if you like, a model of self-care that can be, again, adapted and adopted across different programs and across different countries. But we're also looking at what the interventions that we can do. So there are surgical interventions. So one of our colleagues, Dr. Indra in Nepal, he's adapting a method that's been used in other diseases, and he's trying it out for leprosy and also Buruli ulcer, actually finding innovative surgical ways to treat leprosy ulcers and to keep them healed, because that's the challenge. It's fairly or relatively simple to heal a wound, but as soon as a person starts walking on the foot again, the foot can break open. So the challenge, and this is why Dr. Indra's study is so exciting, the challenge is to get that skin strong enough so that it can stand some of the pressure, normal pressures of just walking. With the appropriate footwear, it can stand those pressures. And the early signs from his studies are very, very promising. On the other side, some of, again, our physios in India and in Bangladesh and Nepal, they're looking at finding improved weight relief tools for healing ulcers. So really the only way we can heal an ulcer is with some of the surgical procedures by our surgeons, but also taking the pressure off the bottom of the foot. So, you know, if you broke your leg today, you'd have to use a pair of crutches to keep your foot up in the air, and so you wouldn't walk on it. It's the same principle for leprosy ulcers. We have to keep the foot in the air somehow, or at least stop the pressure on the bottom of the foot. So we have a new study that's just started looking at using more effective ways of getting the pressure off the bottom of the foot. And again, technology is helping us in some of these studies that we're doing. So we've got computer software and computer programs that helps us to analyze the pressure on different parts of the foot, and then help us to map out what the best kind of insole to put in the foot, or the best kind of device to put in the shoe, or to actually design the whole shoe itself. And then we can connect the computer and the software up to a 3D printer. We can actually print off those insoles, and they're absolutely made to measure. So at the moment, that's quite expensive, and we can't do it on a large scale, but we're studying it and then comparing it with our more traditional methods. And if we can prove the effectiveness, and if we can actually start to do that on a larger scale, the unit costs will come down, so it will actually be affordable. Now, whether that's affordable in the lower resource places where we don't have these centres with these computers, I don't know. But as for now, our research centres are looking at those. and that's going to be exciting as well. Our surgeons are always looking for better ways of treating disability, and we have Dr. Premal and others in India who are actually doing the tendon transfers, which again are from 50, 60 years ago. Some of the techniques are from then, and they still work now. But Premal and others are showing or are testing new ways or adapted ways of doing the tendon transfers, which makes the appearance and the function of the hand better post-operatively. It's not just the treatment, it's also helping people to have a better understanding of leprosy disability as a whole, or NTD disability as a whole as well, and not making it all about the impairments. I remember when I was still back in Nigeria, and I was involved in a research study that was specifically looking at the activity limitations that people affected by leprosy experience. And I was interviewing groups of men and women in Nigeria, and to assess the nerve damage on the hands, one of the things I do is test the sensation, and I used to use a ballpoint pen, test the sensation on the hand. But in this study, I was asking them, do you have problems counting money? Do you have problems putting your shirt on and off? The activity limitations. And there was one gentleman that I'd worked with for years, and he suddenly said to me, Jannine, at last you're asking me the things that matter. Because actually, I don't care if I have 2 points on my hand that I don't feel. I can take care of my hand, but what bothers me is I can't do the things I want. I can't read my newspaper. I can't turn the pages in my newspaper to read it. I can't fasten my shirt without asking somebody to help me. And that was a light bulb for me. I've been involved with this gentleman for ages, and I've been asking him the wrong questions. So I think as an organization, and I think hopefully as the wider leprosy and NTD world, we're opening our eyes and ears and our hearts and minds to actually listen to the people affected and ask them properly, what matters to you? And how can we together get over these challenges and these difficulties and problems that you have? What would help you the most to reduce these barriers that you face in your daily life and in your community?